There is no way I'm doing that and wasting 10 hours sitting on the train where I could utilize that 10 hours to try and grow my business. Yes, I wouldn't have that financial backing in terms of the revenue coming in the first year, but I knew that if I invested my time wisely in the first 6 months or so, I would be able to build up a good foundation. Welcome everyone to the Old Business Baby podcast. My name is Khao. I'm a CFO and business advisor to small business owners. In today's episode, we're just going to go through my origin story, a little bit about me, a deep dive, just so that you can get to know me a little bit better. So my childhood, I was born and raised in Cabramatta. I grew up there with my younger sister, my mother. It was a tough place growing up at the time. When you think back 30 years ago, it was very troubled. There was a lot of gang and drug activity around that time. So it wasn't the best time to grow up. And I know a lot of viewers out there can resonate. So I grew up in a single mother household with my younger sister. My dad left us when I was in year 5. I haven't seen him since. And so because of that, we moved around quite a lot during my childhood from unit to unit in and around the area. We were renting a lot of the time, so it was very hard for us to find stability just because we would be kicked out from place to place. That also led to me going to 7 different schools throughout my childhood and teenage years. So I didn't have that stability and it was very hard for me to make friends. My inspiration during my childhood is still my mother. I saw the hard work that she put in raising 2 kids alone, and my sister and I weren't the friendliest of siblings. We would fight quite a lot. And so I could see that my mum was working quite hard by working 2 jobs, was also going through TAFE to learn English, to learn a new skill set in optical dispensing. And so she did the hard yards to ensure that my sister and myself had that opportunity to make it in the world we live in today. And so I always thank her for that. She taught me a very valuable lesson and that money doesn't grow on trees. And so that kind of fueled me, and that stuck with me just because we didn't have a lot growing up, but that fueled me to do what I do today, to get into business and to help others and share my experience now as to how they can build or get to financial stability and to financial freedom for themselves. My family now, I am currently happily married for 3 years. I've been with my wife, Jenny, for about 12 years now in total. So she is the love of my life. I adore her. And she is my rock. She helps me and supports me through a lot of things, especially in business. You need that person to support you and understand what you are doing. So obviously you both can reach that ultimate goal that you set. Together we have a beautiful daughter. She is 13 months as of today. She's currently teething, so we're not getting a lot of sleep at the moment. But she is the joy of my life, or I've found new purpose in life because of her. Now, being with my wife for about 10, 12 years at the time, looking back 2 years ago, I kind of felt like there was no purpose in life. It was a bit boring, a bit mundane. Doing the same things, running a business, seeing the same people, friends and families, doing the same thing with the wife, although, I enjoy, but it did get repetitive. And I felt like I had done quite a bit in life in terms of running a business, buying a home, getting married, traveling the world, living abroad, and I didn't find any excitement. All I did was work. But then my daughter came along a year ago, and that really gave me new purpose in life. As cliche as it may sound, it really does. And although the first month of her being alive or in our lives was a big adjustment for not just my wife, but for me as a business owner, being able to let go and find that work-life balance, to actually spend the time with her and understand that the reason why I got into business was so that I could increase the quality of my life. And that meant spending more time with my family and enjoying the little things that we take for granted at times. And so over the last year, I've really been happy with my life and my daughter. And obviously I would love to have more kids as long as Jenny can bear it. And so very proud of my family now, family of 3, but would obviously look to grow that. My mum as well, now 20 years on, or 30 years on since she had me. She now is a partner in Oscar Wiley in Newtown. Free plug for you, mum. She has now ownership of a business for herself, which gives her also the financial freedom, but also a sense of ownership, skin in the game, giving her purpose now that she doesn't need to look after me anymore or my sister. So it's now her new baby that she can take care of and make good of. So that's my life now and my family now. I love them and I can't wait to see them after this episode. So what led me to start or own Solve Accounting and to become a business advisor or CFO to small businesses? Well, besides the childhood and understanding that I had to, at an early age, become the man of the house and try and financially provide for my family so that my mum didn't have to work those 2 jobs, that helped fuel my hunger for business. So in high school, I did show a lot of interest in business. I took up business studies. I did economics, knowing in the back of my mind that I would eventually get into business some way, somehow. Now, at the end of year 12, I started to apply for accounting cadetships. There would be these accounting fairs you'd go to. And I applied for, the big 4 firms, the mid-tier firms, but I did get rejected from all of them. And I thought, oh crap, how am I going to now make money or get a career and provide for my mum and family? So I ended up applying for ToysRUs, which I got. That was back in Parramatta Westfields when it was still running. So that was in 2008. It wasn't a lot of money. I think it was $11 an hour, but it paid some bills or paid my bills anyway. So I could at least help my mum in that sense. But I still had the urge to try and make something out of my future based on the hard work that my mum had put in to get me through high school, but also wanting to get into university. I did get to business studies in UTS. But before I started the bachelor's degree, I did get a call for a good friend of mine, Kathy, who said to me, Phil, we went to the accounting fairs together. I know you didn't get in, but the one I got accepted into, they're looking for someone now. And so at that point in time, I said, thanks, Kathy, for that opportunity. I went to an interview, eventually got that interview. So it was a last minute cadetship spot that I filled. And I am forever thankful for her for giving me that opportunity, because now that's set the foundation or given me the foundation to be where I am now from a business and career standpoint. So I thank her for that. So over the next 8 years, I worked in public practice. I learned a lot. They work you like dogs. And sometimes it kind of felt like child labor, just because I did start in 2008 during the GFC. And so every pay rise was chips or nothing at all. And there was always that excuse of, we're facing a global financial crisis or whatever excuse it may be, just not to give you that pay rise. So I was working full time. I think my first salary was $392 net that week, per week. That was great because it did give me an opportunity to support myself, and now my mum didn't have to support me. After 8 years in public practice, my wife came to me, Jenny at the time, girlfriend at the time. She did say, I want to move to London. And I said, there is no way in hell that I'm moving. I'm very comfortable where I am, hanging out with my mates, trying to reach partner status at my public accounting firm, which most people don't get. But you have that dream because they dangle that carrot in front of you. So she twisted my arm, and finally I gave in and said, fine, I'll do it for a year. And I guess before we decided to leave, I said to myself, I'm 25 years old now. I need to think about my future, the future with Jenny and our family potentially. What will that look like? I knew that I didn't want to be in public practice anymore because you get underpaid for the amount of hours that you put in. So I said, I need to start a business. But like most business or most individuals, when you are trying to start a business, you always have the thought of, what business should I start? And when you think about that, you really don't know what to do because you get roadblocks like, oh my God, it's going to cost too much, or it's going to take too much time, too much effort. There's all these challenges, all these things that come up as you start to do more research into it. So I was at that point, and finally I said to myself, you know what, why don't I leverage the skills, the skill set and experience that I have now or have attained over the last 8 years and start my own accounting practice? That'd be the easiest way to start a business. And so I did that. But before I did that, I spoke to a mentor, an ex-colleague, an ex-senior manager of mine, Chris, who's a partner with Solve now. And he said to me, why don't you just join Solve Accounting? I will start to feed you and refer you work, and you can start from there. And so I said, why not? I'm moving to London, got a full-time job there. Why not get my feet wet by doing a bit of work on the side so that in the future, when I do come back to Australia, I've got a foundation to start my business on. And so I did that, enjoyed my time in London, For 4 years, I was working 2 jobs at the time, but it's not easy to get in business and to build something. And so those were the sacrifices I had to make. The extra 2-3 hours a weeknight after work, after dealing with your wife, after going to the gym, after cooking dinner, all those things. And then spending 2 hours at night, 10 o'clock at night, just to do a bit of work, just to build out that client base. And so during the time in London, I also gained more experience as a financial controller and CFO for multiple businesses, multinational corporates over there. And in 2019, the wife and I decided it's time for us to move back because we wanted to get married, have a kid, start a family, all those fun things. And why not do that in Australia? Because that's the best place to raise a family. So I came back in 2019, and after living away from my mum, I moved back in with her, which was an interesting time. You move out and you've got the independence now. You don't have your mum nagging at you, screaming at you for whatever reason and telling you or asking you why you're going out so much, asking you if you think her house is a hotel. Those things as a Asian household, you'd go through that. When I got back home, I was at a crossroads a few months in. I thought, okay, I'm living back out west with my mother, 29 years old. Do I get a comfortable job that's paying me, $150,000, $200,000 a year? Or do I pursue full-time my business opportunity with Solve Accounting full-time? And the thing that got me the most, or that got me over the line to go into business, was I thought about the 1 hour train ride back and forth to the city each way. That's 2 hours a day. That's 10 hours a week. And I thought, there is no way I'm doing that and wasting 10 hours sitting on the train where I could utilize that 10 hours to try and grow my business. Yes, I wouldn't have that financial backing in terms of the revenue coming in the first year, but I knew that if I invested my time wisely in the first 6 months or so, I would be able to build up a good foundation. And so the first year of business was really tough for me. But what I realized was, when you start a business venture and you have all the time in the world, the 40 hours a week or more, you tend to have your back against the wall and understand that all this time here now is for you to go out there and plant seeds, get more work, market yourself, tell everyone about what you are doing because you've got the time to. Or you'll find an inner beast within you and start to do things or start to think outside of the box. And so, one tip for anyone looking to get out there and start their own business, especially in the service industry, what I did was a few months in, I started looking at the job boards. And I started applying for finance manager, finance controller roles. But when I submitted my application, I would highlight to them in the cover letter that I am running my own business as a CFO, as an accountant, and that I could fulfill that role in 2 or 3 days to sell to them that they didn't need a full-time person. And so after going down that route, I was able to land a big client who accepted that value proposition. And so at that point in time, that really gave me the foundation to grow my business. And that only took about 4 months or so. When you have your back against the wall, you start to think outside of the box. And so that's a good example for others. So now over the last 7 years running a business, I have gained a wealth of experience and I'd say knowledge. I would say I have been successful in what I've done to build a business where it can work for me and not work for the business. And so really, I just want to share my story now and experience of others as well to the wider community and to those that are looking to start or currently still in their business journey. And those are the main reasons why I am doing. And so guys, that's a little bit about me. Hopefully you learnt and can relate to me as well. For all the viewers and listeners out there, I would encourage you to tune into future episodes to learn more about other business owners and their journeys, their wins, their losses, the challenges that they're facing, to see how that applies to you and if you can relate to those. If you do want to reach out to me personally, please contact me at Philip with 1L at solveaccounting.com.au or follow me on LinkedIn. See you next episode. So if you're about to begin your business journey or you're currently going through your business journey, tune into future episodes so that you can learn more and find a supportive community. Otherwise, follow me on LinkedIn for more.